Well, my dad worked for Commercial Credit back in the day and got transferred down to Houma. He was an accountant, and that was part of the deal that came down here and left there and started to work for Oliver H. Van Horn. We probably moved when I was 4. We used to play behind Lisa Park Elementary School, and a bunch of guys from the neighborhood and things like that. And one of my first coaches was Merk Trahan, that thoroughly enjoyed it, and he did a lot for us when we were younger. Used to take us to the Nichols games and just brought us all over the place. And from there we started playing in Hark, and there on Williams Avenue, and fond memories there. Hey, I've given up home runs from Williams Avenue to New York to California, all over the world. So playing at Terrebonne was a lot of fun. We had enough good players that he kind of just so-called rolled out the balls, let us go out and play, and take it from there. But early success, I wouldn't say I had early success. No, we had some very good coaches. Coach Dave Grieve, I owe a lot of my success to. Jim Winkleman, both at Nichols, owe a lot of success to. But one of my better, I should call him friend because he is a dear friend of mine, Jamie Pizzolata, probably has helped me more in my younger years than anybody had, just teaching me how to go about things, how to prepare, how to write to colleges to try to get noticed. And Jamie was just an unbelievable coach, friend, mentor, and all of that kind of things. And he kind of led the way for me to at least give myself an opportunity to be out there, be seen, and things like that. So American Legion ball was a lot of fun. We had a great time. UNO was the cream of the crop in the South, along with Mississippi State and the University of Miami. I don't know if they were the #1 choice. I definitely would have liked to have the opportunity, not knowing even during the season, to go there. But LSU was always a possibility, and I had taken some other trips, Louisiana Tech and things like that. But I had written a letter to Ron Polk at Mississippi State with Jamie's help, and asking this, and I got a letter back. And Ron Polk was very good at that. And he says, "Well, I tell you what, we're waiting on one person, and if he doesn't come, we'd like to have you up in Starkville." So, okay. Late in the season, in the spring, that one person was Rafael Palmero. So he ended up going, and that pushed me out. And Schwan said, "Look, we'd love to have you. We got a book scholarship." So, oh man, that sounds pretty good, get my books paid for. So we get in the car to go back home, and my mom turned around, she says, "Well, you're not going to UNO. You've got a full ride here, a full ride there, full ride to these other places." And I looked at my dad, I said, "Dad, Mom, I apologize, but this is where I'm coming." And that's all it, that's what happened back then, and it's just the opportunity to play with one of the better programs. I was just having fun, and the group of guys we had at UNO, man, we went out and played. Major League Baseball was so far out there that, man, no idea. Well, the 2 games we lost, I started both of those, so I definitely remember that. We started off with Texas, game 1, and got beat. We came back against Michigan that had Barry Larkin, some of these guys on there, Jim Abbott and people like that. We beat them to move to, I guess, the quarterfinals, whatever, 4th place game, and we played Oklahoma State, and I think I pitched 6 or 7 innings, got out, the game was tied, and they ended up beating us in the 11th or 12th inning, and for a number of years was considered the greatest game in the College World Series. I'm just playing. I had no idea. You watch them on TV. Well, that's not going to be me. I know we played on ESPN at UNO, but man, you're playing in a major league ballpark. I went to 1 or 2 Astros games, 1 Atlanta Braves game, and man, that's so far out there. You had no clue of what that was about. Well, I was in the Dominican Republic in winter ball, and our minor league director, Carl Keel, called me. He says, "Look, I got good news and bad news." I said, "Oh man, bad news. Hopefully nobody back home, something happened." And he said, no, you've been traded. I said, "Well, All right. He says, well, we traded to the New York Mets. And they had just won the World Series in 1986. And I said, Carl, how is that good news? And he says, well, I'm going to put it to you this way. If you're ever going to make it, you're going to make it with the best. Went to spring training, got put on the roster. And of course, you're number 89 or 79, one of the first ones to go when they make their cut. So did that, and Davey Johnson was our manager. Didn't know your name, had to look in the media guide, and this and that. And didn't really occur that any of that was going to be possible.
Not nearly as blustery as last night, and Wally Whitehurst takes the mound for only the second time to start a ball game in his major league career. Last year he was 1-0, his only start coming back in 1989. So Whitehurst on the mound for the Mets.
Wally will be pitching to this lineup for the Montreal Expos.
Fly ball to shallow right center. Hubie Brooks in with the right hand up, makes the play. That's 4 in a row retired by Wally Whitehurst. Cool evening here at Shea. Wallach at third base. He's almost facing the pitcher's mound. And the bunt is on, and Wallach's got to go to first base, so they played it straight up. And Whitehurst lays down a blueprint.
Well, you're either a Met fan or you're a Yankee fan. There's no in between. Of course, I spent more time with the Mets than I did with the Yankees, but for some reason I had probably a little bit better success with the Mets at home, because Shea Stadium was actually a pitcher's ballpark, and I wasn't going to blow anybody away, strikeout type pitcher. So I had a little bit better success, so I guess they called my name out by my first name instead of other names that I heard them say to other people.
The lineups for the Mets: Boston at left, Randolph at second, Johnson in center, Murray at first, Bonilla in right, Magadan at third, Hundley catching, Schofield in short, Wally Whitehurst the pitcher. And Pepsi also presents the defensive alignment of the Cubs with May in left.
Of course, in Chicago, they're right on you, and they're hollering, and they're cursing and calling your names, and you stand up for the national anthem, and there's this 350-pound woman standing at home plate, and her name is Betty Whitehurst, and they're going berserk because they're saying that's your mama singing the national anthem, and now, oh my God, I'm facing Ryan Sandberg, Andre Dawson, and these guys, and you're trying to get prepared, and of course, I wasn't mentally strong enough at the time to shut all that out, and before I knew it, after 2 2/3, I was knocked out of the ball game.
There's Wally Whitehurst coming out of the bullpen, his 4th start of the year. He is 4-4 out of the bullpen in his career, 5-13 lifetime as a starter. He rarely walks anybody. He came into the season this year the 3rd lowest in Major League history in walks per 9 innings. That is his big plus as a reliever, and hopefully will carry it over for the Mets as a starter from their perspective.
You want to make sure you know that as a hitter too, because you know if he has that good of control, he's going to be around the plate all night.
1 ball, 2 strike count on Jose Offerman. Breaking ball, and there's that great curve Jeff Torborg was talking about. Balls, 2 strikes. Whitehurst delivery, and he got him. Wally Whitehurst gets his 3rd strikeout, and count, 1 out. Got. Hojo went after it, bounces wide, late start. Whitehurst is coming. Scioscia to Gaunt, not in time. 1-1.
You're also a coach. Watch Eddie Murray in the background. Wave him home. Come on, the ball's over here. He's the only guy who can let Whitehurst know how far that ball got away from Scioscia.
A friend of mine back in the day that was with Oakland, was the minor league director for the San Diego Padres. And they were in town for the coaches, it may not have been the coaches convention, but he gave me a call and just asked me, would you be interested? And they had a spot open in rookie ball, and he thought I'd be a good choice for it. So I interviewed, and they called me the next day and said, man, we start here, and come out and see what you think. So I did it, and I loved it. I probably still would be doing it if I didn't have had 2 daughters that were younger in high school, and me being away for 8.5 months out of the year. After a while, it just wore on you, and I wanted to be a little bit closer to them. I'm currently working with Synergy Resources and Billet CNC Machine Shop. Both, one's in Morgan City, one's in Berwick. And my prior job was with Total Rentals, selling for Jimmy Randolph, that I thoroughly loved it. And I just enjoy going out and meeting people that, some of them know what I did or who I am, but a lot of them that don't. And you get a chance to meet all types of people. And I don't know that much about the oil field industry, but you get to meet people and develop relationships. And I just enjoy getting on the road and doing that kind of thing. It's been good so far, and hopefully it'll last a little bit longer.